Today is August 1st, 2023. If you think I am strange as a victim, there was a girl named Mary Bass. I think her last name was Dingus by then. She was on her second marriage. Her husband at the time left her, went back to her mom. She found out some things about him and she filed for divorce. Strange told her that she was lucky to have a Mrs. behind her name at her age to put up with it and stay married and live on your own. Well, they started calling her at the office. They started calling her at home that they were going to get her till she was too afraid to leave. There was a lady named Dee. Her teenage kids went and date one of their daughters, and they vandalized her church. Okay? There was a girl named Vicky. Her maiden name, I think, was Claire. Her mom, they were going to use the church for a wedding. And her mom wanted the reception set up a certain way. Not a big deal. They're paying to have that wedding there. But it's Strange's. They own that church. Strange got in her face and said if she sets the tables go on the roof, my wife rolls this church under me. They had a candy dish that was her grandmother's that had passed away. They had brought it. It's just a candy dish in honor of her grandmother, a piece of her bringing her to her wedding. They took it. I was down in the basement doing dishes. Somebody came and put something away. No one overlooked. I thought, well, they must not have needed it. Well, someone came and got it. I thought, well, they must have changed their mind. She confronted me when we started up at that church. Did you know they stole my grandmother's candy dish because they were mad at her and they got rid of it? We never got it back. I said, I didn't know that. Debbie was his niece. She wasn't going to church as much. So Strange told everybody she was going to nightclubs, sleeping with guys. He got up on the pulpit right before Pam and Jack's wedding, called her a whore, called her names. She ran out crying. That's his niece. He was mad at her for not going to church as much. Pam and Jack already paid for their wedding. They had their wedding, the reception, and they went up to Pamers. His brother Jack left and his brother Russ because of what he did. Now, do you understand? With Phil standing up to Strange that he wouldn't correct his wife, and just because he was rich, and he openly defied him to everybody, that he wouldn't get him. Why did he think he was untouchable? That's why everyone I talked to thought he had him killed. Had somebody play with his bricks to teach him a lesson for openly defying him. Mark, Melissa's dad, he became head usher. And he started, he'd go out and he'd watch people go to the bathroom. If you found somebody to talk to in the hallway, you talk to them for a moment. We're adults. We're adults. We can talk to whoever we would damn well please. Right? Someone tries to get a hold of you. Family needs to get a hold of you that's not there. Walk out and use the phone. He'd go up and tell on you. And then Strange would yell at you. See, when that agent, when Ron showed up, how did you know? She called FBI. Well, we hired Dave's girlfriend's dad and his friends to watch her. And and we got the truth out of her by drugging her. What was he supposed to do? Arrest his dumbass. Seriously. Why would you do it? Oh, my kid died 15 years ago. Is she part of anything causing his death? No. Strange said she was faking she was sick and faking she got well. Your minister said that. For one thing, he should have looked at him. If he was a good, honest officer of the law, he should have looked at him and said what was wrong with her. It was none of your damn business. What the doctors did to her was none of your damn business. And it's none of your damn business how she got well. She just goes to your church. What her and her family does is none of your damn business. You need to learn your place. That other people's lives are none of your damn business. And you're going to jail for having her stalked and drugged. And did anybody else touch her in any way? Because you're going to jail. You can't interfere in anybody's life. Have you lost your mind? See, if he was a good officer of the law, he would have arrested him on the spot, not tell people he felt sorry for him. How much they pay him? I had a 25 grand hit on my life. He get the 25 grand? They give him more because they're millionaires. Because then it comes down to, she had nothing to do with that kid's death. Huh? Nothing to do with that kid's death. What was going on in her life and what she went through and how she got well is none of your damn business. And just because a minister said it, you don't have a right to interfere in anybody's life. I've had officers yell at people like that. They had no right. So why didn't that agent obey the law? Why didn't he obey the law? Instead of giggling of a shower scene and confessions and da-da-da, and stop, she don't know. And they're acknowledging I'm being drugged and framed and giggling. Because they're going to be like those other FBI agents that are going to go to jail. There was another one on Google that went to jail for 20 years for corruption. Everybody turn them in. They lied to people. They had an attorney involved in this. They don't have no attorney involved in this. You know why? Attorney wouldn't touch their case with a 10-foot pole. You broke in somebody's home. You had them stalked. You had them drugged, beaten, raped. You had them photoshopped. You sold them on porn sites. You publicly humiliated them. And you're stupid enough to open your mouth? What am I supposed to do? Get a police sentence for you? See, people are acting like we live in North Korea. And Vegas are now the new mafia. And they're the new Kim Jong-uns. That they can... See, I watched this thing on North Korea. They have somebody... You watch somebody... and somebody watches you. You say something wrong, you do something wrong. They tell on you. They take you out and execute you. They can lie on you. You don't have trials. And they execute you or stone you or beat you. You have no rights. They act like this is North Korea instead of the United States of America. That agent should have ripped them a new one and arrested him on the first day. He's an accessory to all those crimes. Human trafficking me. And then it comes down to how mentally ill is Rana Lisa. See, some ladies showed up on Sunday. We went to Lisa. She was getting better for a long time. She did talk about remission, and they didn't think anything about it until Strange said she was faking it. He was the only one that said it, so everybody believed it. They worshiped him like a god. See, when he pulled that thing with the Clorox bleach, the Tide, the McDonald's, it's not your church's damn business what laundry detergent and what bleach you use, right? That's not if you go get a hamburger after church. It's none of their damn business. But he wanted to start where he had more control over all the people. So he said they support abortions. You're not to have it in your home. People are to call each other. You're to go over and see them. Make sure they don't have it. You see them at McDonald's. Tell me, I'll take care of it. Having people correct other people and creating this control thing that he's at the top and his wife. And they spin their little webs of control. And if you step out of line, they get you. See, that's where, who the hell do the Vegas think they are? Who do they think they are? I mean, it's coming down to this. Who do they think they are? The new mafia in this area? Somebody lied on me. I told you what, if they even asked Dave, they told me and Dave to sue those doctors for about 2 years afterwards. Other doctors, you need to sue them for what they did to you. There was nothing wrong with you, but your muscles locked up from having all those surgeries. They had really good insurance because he had a union job. And he said they're referring you to their friends and their associates. They're getting kickback referrals. They're diagnosing you with wrong things, writing big scripts. You only pay $100, $150 for, or even $50, and your insurance is paying $2,000 to $3,000, and they're getting anywhere from, how they put it was $200 to $1,000 kickback per prescription. There was a big thing in the United States in the early 2000 to 2010 of insurance fraud, that doctors were doing this, diagnosing people wrong to get the medication, get those false medications out there for those people, making people sick. People are dying. They were using their trade and then getting kicked back from the drug companies. I got misdiagnosed all over. They were sending me to their friends. Dear God, my whole body swelled up. My heart got off. My thyroid stopped working. My adrenal gland. My brain was swelling. And they diagnosed me with tumors, wanted to take my pituitary gland out. And the doctor's like, you tell those people no. And then she started saying how they write all these scripts and they're only doing this to you. And there's nothing wrong with you, but you have fibromyalgia. I had at least 2 of them. Don't go to them no more. And that's when Joanne came up to me and told me about the doctor with a medication gets you out moving. He said, I get you off all that medication. There's nothing wrong with you, but you have fibromyalgia. They've all misdiagnosed you, and you need to sue them. And once I get you off that medication, you'll be fine. And then I get you on pain medicine where your muscles are locked off high enough that you can actually move those muscles and get some blood flow. And once we get them built back up, they won't spasm anymore. That was the only thing wrong with me. That's why when I got well, I only took estrogen for years. I want you to think about that. They misdiagnosed me from having epilepsy to heart disease to having tumors in my brain. I never had tumors. They wanted to do an unnecessary surgery for the money and then put me on hormones for it. Thank God I told them no. There was nothing wrong with my pituitary gland. It was swollen up from the medication where they made me sick. It's almost like these crazy mothers that make their kids sick. Munchausen's. But these doctors were making patients sick to get money out of their insurance company and to write false prescription. And then they passed them to their associates. That's why, do I acknowledge anything that happened back then or anything that was said about me? No. Except for I had fibromyalgia. And a lot of quacks almost killed me. And do I have to acknowledge false diagnoses? No. They were committing insurance fraud and medical malpractice. They call it a medication error now. See, that agent didn't even go to Altman Family Physicians. He didn't do anything. He just listened to them because they probably paid him off. I had a 25 grand hit. See, there's a point in time. We live in the United States of America. It's none of your church's damn business if you go to McDonald's. It's none of their damn business what laundry detergent you use. You just go to church there. But it's in a call. I told you. My son Josh, his brakes were played with so his tires exploded. They slashed his tires flat. His car blew up on the highway. My other son John, when he was fighting with Melissa, they took his truck, rolled it, put it back in his driveway. They nailed my mom's tires and put things up in it when she quit going to church. Another man had a business, trucks, and they played with the hydraulics. One man even had like a garbage truck and they played with it, and when he went to start it and move it and lift the thing, it flipped over. Cost him thousands and thousands of dollars. They played with vehicles there. They took and loosened my lug nuts. My neighbor tightened them up and they threw glass where I park and a sharp object, and then they slashed my tire another time. And they have got so bad that they think that they can hire a drug cartel to kick in your door and stalk you, drug you up to get the so-called truth out of you, have you beat, raped, and human trafficked because someone lied on you. Who do the Vegas think they are, the new mafia? And I'll tell you what, do you think the way that minister acted, do you think he tolerated him openly defying him? that he wouldn't correct his wife because he was rich. And I'll tell you what, Strange made fun of Vega. He thinks he's so great because he's got money. He only has money because of Phil. Phil told him how to flip houses so he could get enough money to start his business. He wouldn't have anything from Phil, and he acts like he's all that great, and he wouldn't have nothing but from him. And he would insult him. Hmm? Lisa's brother-in-law, Joe, and her sister Rhonda, after Phil and them died, they moved away. Found out later they moved to Indiana. He told everybody they moved to Florida and had a pole business, and acting like they were all dirty, wanting to get all around people with no clothes on, because it's forbidden. Like he was some kind of pervert. And he lives in Indiana. Think about this, and think about it hard. Do you think they put up with Phil disrespecting him openly and defying him openly for 2 months, not and defending his thing? That's why we all thought they had someone play with his bricks. They play with people's vehicles. Other people had got in weird wrecks and died. And it made no sense. See what I mean? Just like he laid on Dave White. Dave White went down to John's church in 1980. We show up at church. He told everybody he blasphemed God and tried to kill himself. And everybody's gasping. His family quit church. No, he don't want anybody to call him. They show him respect. Nobody get a hold of him. Go down there 30 years later. I am Dave White. And it's like deer in a headlight. I told Strange in 1980. God laid on my heart to switch churches. I've been here ever since. He lied from the pulpit. He controls with fear and lies. And then he has people working as little imps underneath them to get people. Now, see, if they would have went to a sheriff and told the sheriff they were stalking me, what would the sheriff done? He would have arrested them. What would they have done if they would have said they were drugging me up? They would have arrested them and told them they had no damn right in my home. You're mentally ill. We'll get you a psych eval. It's none of your business. See, this is where that apostolic church, they need to learn their place. It's none of their damn business what surgeries you have, what medical treatment. It's none of their damn business how you got well. You just go to their church. It's not the congregation's damn business. And it's not their damn business to some minister that's known for lying on people. To make up a lie. And 15 years later, they're all going to get me. Have people stalk me, drug, beat, rape me, human traffic me, and they're dumb enough down here to tell people they did. They went and told a federal agent, and they got one of the dirtiest ones around, and him and his friend thought it was funny that an occult was having an innocent woman drugged, beat, and raped, and we're giggling about it on a recorded line before they listed me a informant. They still owe me that money. They left me in the middle of a drug cartel that was human trafficking. That's who Lighthouse Tabernacle hired. The drug traders that were human trafficking people out of this area to drug me up, Photoshop me in stocking tapes. There was no police involved. There was no court order to be in my home. It was Dave's girlfriend's dad and his drug friends got hired by that occult. And that agent didn't arrest him for human trafficking a victim and laughed how she got hurt. They better arrest him. And then they left me in there, open a real case with statements and money. Already been in contact with them. People were saying that outside my clients in North Canton. It is what's going on. That agent did tell people he knew she was being drugged, beaten, raped before. And he acknowledged it to people. He did it. Apostolic Church of Barberton. And Dave told Danny he talked to him. And he said that he had been in contact with the Vegas. And on a recorded line, they yell Pete's name and giggle how I'm being drugged and framed. before they list me informant. Who's Pete? Dave's girlfriend's dad that he told Danny he hired on his own. He can't have me stalked, drug, beat, and raped. You arrested him, right? And my friend that worked at the prosecutor's office. Duh, the police better arrest him. It's a fraud scheme. They probably did when they kicked in your door, set up button cameras. They could never use it against you. They did it in your house. It's the Fourth Amendment. They probably did Photoshop that shower scene. And where you had bruises, you were throwing up, you're dizzy, almost passing out. They probably did drug you up and tell you to say something stupid. They could never use it against you. It's illegal to be in somebody's home, and it's illegal to look and listen no matter what, except for protector-like cases with statements. It's a fraud scheme. My other friend said it's a drug scam from the drug dealers that are human trafficking. They caused several deaths down here. The one guy went out to eat, they scared him to death, said they deserve the electric chair for this. People have died around me. People have been taken. I was human trafficked, got my skull bashed in, got raped, tortured, was drugged and framed and being raped. And before I called the FBI, I had a swollen personal infection. And I could hardly go to the bathroom, had bruises all over me, throwing up, dizzy, heart racing, almost passing out. And that cult was human trafficking me, and that agent didn't arrest them. You're gonna arrest them, right? People were talking up in Hartville. They could never use any of that against her, what they did to her. But they need to decide what they're gonna do to them. They should have took care of them the first day. They admitted to life in federal. That guy's like, they deserve the electric chair for this. My co-worker Lori, people they used already killed her family member and cut her in pieces. They took my house manager's niece, they took the girl at the ATM, and they took a bunch of other people. They're the drug traders that are human trafficking people out of this area. You arrested him, right? Thinking, he's like, they're probably in somebody else's home. And they don't know what's happening to them. They're waking up, they're throwing up, they're dizzy, they have heart racing, they're going to the doctor. They got some bruises they can't explain, and they got a personal infection. And here they're being drugged, being raped, and because it's with amnesia drugs. And roofies, they don't remember, and they've been sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours, and they have them framed. And these people are ready to pounce on them. And they're already in somebody's home. Well, I said, my ex-husband on a phone call, they said they have a list. I'm sure they are. I'm not for this.